Hello everyone, welcome to a LEGO Star Wars set review. Take a look at set number 75385, Ahsoka Tano's Duel on Peridea. This set contains 382 pieces, 5 minifigures, and released officially on August 1st of 2024, and is based off of the Season 1 finale of the Ahsoka Star Wars show. Let's get into this review. If you do go on to enjoy, make sure to hit that like button, as well as subscribe. Let's get into the review. So, taking a look at the main build, I don't exactly remember off the top of my head what this area was called. I remember it from the Ahsoka show. It just wasn't a very memorable location. But from what I do remember, I'd say they executed it okay enough. I do feel like it's incomplete. I'm almost certain that it was like a full circle of like these little rune towers, whatever the heck you want to call them. But yeah, let me just remove the figures for you guys to give you an idea, because like I feel like this set, it is doing well if you do show off the figures on here with the play feature, which I'll get over in a second here, but I just want to show what this looks like without. There we go. Yeah, so this thing's a little weird to pick up. I mean, you can pick it up like that, but yeah, just have a look for yourselves. It's very gappy, I would say. I don't really know how they could have tackled this differently. I know the main reason why this section is gappy is so that they could get this little play feature that we'll show off in a minute here. But there's like little gears on the side, so you can do that. I will mention, I do wish there's a gear right here that could have been implemented in the build, and I'll show off why specifically. But yeah, any detail you see on this set is a sticker, whether it be on these round corner tiles or these 2x4s, or, you know, the actual runes that are on big tiles right here. They're all stickers. Not a single thing on this build is printed, which sucks, because you're like honestly thinking that these could have been printed, and the discoloration between the stickers and the bricks kind of make it stick out like a sore thumb in person, and I'm not a huge fan of it. Like, I'm honestly questioning why I even went along with building this set. I just, it's a cool battle scene, but I just, with what we have as the final product, I'm not really vibing with it overall. Also, you got this little back area. I want to mention this real quick here. There was a scene, I guess, where Sabine and Ahsoka had to like get to Thrawn's ship, and Sabine kind of like force pushed Ezra to the Thrawn's ship, and I guess this is a play feature, which I almost want to say was a whole different platform. It wasn't necessarily here, but whatever. So anywho, the idea is on these little ingot piece right here, you're supposed to load in Ezra, and my biggest issue here is he doesn't really stay in place, which is fine, I guess, given that what this is about trying to be, but trying to load it is a bit of a pain. So let's just remove this, make this a bit easier to show off what I'm trying to do here. There you go. You get them loaded in, okay, and the idea is you're supposed to press down this little lever here, and it's supposed to fling him to recreate the scene where he goes flinging over that way, like a little bit of an arch, so you can recreate that scene. Let's give it a few attempts. Okay, let's give it another try. Oh, he's still not arching. He's just flying upwards. No, it's still flying upwards. Okay, final attempt. What a fun play feature overall, my goodness. Ugh. And by that I mean not at all, because it's like with what it's trying to do, it's just not at all doing it. And the main reason why that is because this doesn't really go forward. It doesn't lunge forward enough, so you don't really get that launching capacity. It just launches it upward, which, unless you have a baseball bat, you can't really make them go the other direction, you know what I mean? So yeah, kind of pointless of a play feature. The only other play feature with this set is if you loaded up a minifigure. Let's put Ezra right here. You know, okay, cool. Then we got, I always have difficulty remembering her name, Morgan Elsbeth. There we go. I think I remembered last second. So yeah, the idea is you load up these figures right here. Remember those little levers I pointed out earlier? You know, the gears on the sides, on either side here. So the idea is you're supposed to twist these and make it look like they're fighting. They're fighting. Okay, maybe if you put it there. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Now you got like they're supposed to be fighting, you know, like woohoo. But I guess they want you to guess it works as a play feature. You guys kind of see why I mentioned I wish there was kind of like a thing here, because it kind of ruins the immersion a bit. Imagine if like you could have twisted that rather than just going like this. Could have had something a little bit cooler, and then, you know, yeah, a winner. I'm not really vibing with this set overall. I'll tell you what I am vibing with: the minifigures. So the fact that, you know, this figure is the last one standing, let's have a closer look at it, shall we? So have a look at the first two minifigures. On the left, you have Morgan Elsbeth, and on the right, you have what's called a Night Trooper. So, yeah, I actually don't mind the Night Trooper. I think it's a really cool inclusion. Although, if I had to wager, especially given that, you know, we've got some rumors floating around, I bet you this guy's going to come in a battle pack. Like, come on, there's no way Lego's going to make a design as detailed as this and not try and milk their money back, because, you know, anything new and unique that is on an army figure, they have to try and get their money back, which I get. I just, for the fact of just speculative purposes, if this is actually going to happen, I do wish that this figure wasn't included, or if it was, maybe another figure was included, which is Captain Enoch, because, you know, this is just strictly a named character battle scene, and it just would have been nice to include him. Don't get me wrong, I love the inclusion of this guy, but if, you know, we're right and there's going to be a battle pack of this guy, it just kind of sours my view of this set even more. But anywho, detail on this guy is really cool. I only wish there would have been some arm printing, because, you know, he's got all those little bandages around him, and you can only see it a little bit on the leg and the torso. If they'd done like a little bit of a bandage wrap on the arms with some gold specks, it would have gone a long way for the detail. And I do like that they included it on the helmet. That's cool. But removing the helmet, you get an even fun detail: a zombie facial print. I was expecting entirely for it to be just a generic Stormtrooper character-esque head, but the fact it's a zombie head, that's so cool. Actually, while I'm thinking about it, I do think there was a scene with Death Troopers, you know, the black Stormtroopers that were like specialty troopers or whatever, there was like 2 of them in the fight scene. That could have been another cool inclusion, especially with that zombie head. I don't think it would have been too hard to make. I mean, they made this guy. Just, you get what I'm saying? So many other choices that could have been in place of this guy instead of this guy. But this is still a cool inclusion nonetheless. Anyway, going back to Morgan Elsbeth, I mean, if you don't have the E-Wing 2-pack, this is another way of getting your hands on this figure, just slightly different. I think instead it has actual minifigure legs, and the facial print is different, which I guess is cool. It's definitely accurate. This character just isn't anything that is of interest to me. The weapon is cool. I think the weapon was called like the Blade of Talzin. And I think they executed this okay. I mean, the highlight is definitely the Darksaber blade piece in a translucent green. Can't wait to see that being used in Ninjago sets in the future. I mean, come on, it's like a jade blade, essentially. Anywho, not really much else to say about these figures, so let's move on to the next 2 included with this set. For these next 2 figs, we have Ahsoka Tano, or I guess Ahsoka the White, as people have called her. I like this figure. I like that there's actually a difference between that and her first minifigure that came in the T6 Jedi Shuttle. I will admit, the dark bluish-gray torso does throw me off of the whole, like, light look of that it's trying to capture. Like, you got light bluish gray legs, you got white arm printing on there, then the dark bluish gray just kind of throws everything off. It feels like it's just the exact same figure from the T6 shuttle almost, to me, at least when I first built this set. So I don't know, I wish they kind of would have doubled down and done light bluish gray, kind of would have vibed with the whole figure overall. I guess you could argue that it was dark bluish gray, just throwing an image of like an action figure made by Hot Toys or something like that on there, or even just a screenshot from the actual episode. You kind of probably get my point that I'm trying to make up here. Anywho, only thing that isn't exclusive with this figure is the head, and honestly, that's a meh kind of thing for me. I mean, it's the same character, just different outfit. Makes sense why they would have the same facial expression. I'm not really gonna nitpick about that, so I don't mind that whatsoever. And then on the right here, you have Jabba the Hutt. Lando Calrissian. Oh, sorry, Ezra Bridger? Yeah, there we go. Ezra Bridger, the long-lost Jedi who was sent off to this unknown region of the galaxy with Admiral Thrawn is the finale of Star Wars Rebels, the show. And I think they captured this figure okay. I'm not a huge fan of the blue eyes. I get it, like the contact lenses made it seem a little too popping out, but I mean, I don't know, makes it seems a little soulless, you know. I guess it's something I can get adjusted to over time, but I'm just right now not really vibing with that. He does have a double-sided facial expression, for anyone curious. But yeah, he's an okay figure. I don't mind him. Just the eyes are my issue with that, but that's not really an issue at all, I guess, in the grand scheme of things. Anywho, let's move on to our final minifigure. So for the final figure, we have Grand Admiral Thrawn himself, a highly desirable character that we haven't gotten in almost a decade, I want to say, in Lego form. And, wow, I'd say they tackled this guy okay. I don't think there's a lot of detail that they missed out on. I mean, at least from a first glance, I don't really have an issue with the red eyes, because he's actually a character that really you don't see the pupils of. It's just mainly the red, so I can excuse that. That's fine. Dual molded legs is a nice surprise. I don't think he had that with his first minifigure iteration whatsoever. And you do have a double-sided facial expression as well. Just overall, a nice and desirable character to get with this set, and it makes sense. I don't really have any complaints to this. I'm sure if somebody was more nitpicky and more of a Star Wars nerd than I was, you could probably point out what there is for issues. But if I was curious, here's an image on screen of a comparison, old and new. There you go. Moving on. For the instructions, you have a digital rendition on the front there. Not bad whatsoever, as well as a QR code for points or digital instructions, up to you. Thing advertising 25 years of Lego Star Wars. And then you have Ahsoka as the progress bar, as it should be. And this build, I mean, it was a little repetitive, but I mean, it turned out okay, I guess, in the end. Like, it's just a platform build. There's not really much to comment on for the build process. Flipping all the way to the back, though, it just shows you the little play feature that, oh, I guess they're saying it's supposed to go upwards. Still, no arching. No, either way, there was no arching, so still not a functioning play feature, regardless. And then they tell you how you can display the set with the do. And then no advertisements, just a parts listing that goes on for 2 pages, and then just a win at the back. As for the extra pieces, this is what I received with my copy of this set. Overall, for a set that retailed for 70 Canadian dollars, the minifigures are definitely justifiable in some aspects. You get some cool, unique, desirable figures, and on that front, yes, pick this set up if you want these characters. However, for the build aspect, I want to say it's a parts pack, because the stickers, or I guess any details in this set, is just questionable overall. I mean, the build makes you feel like it's incomplete. I guess they only did it in half just that way you could have it on display, which I guess is fine. I also, I guess, want to see how this looks with a Star Destroyer displayed behind it. I don't currently have one, but I'll definitely post pictures on social media if I ever do. But for the time being, I'm just kind of meh about this set. Like, again, figure selection's okay. I'm a little iffy about what could have been included instead of this guy. That being said, it's still a great figure. Just kind of wish it would have been a different character overall. Whatever. I would honestly suggest picking this up if it goes on clearance. Paying full price is a little sketchy, not gonna lie. So that would be my recommendation. Just buy this for the figs. Got the set for your mock collection, or just if you're a reseller, just sell the pieces. This build is kind of meh. Anyway, I feel like that wraps up everything of what I think about this set. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments section down below. I'd be interested to hear. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. Make sure to let me know by hitting that like button, as well as subscribe. It'd be very much appreciated. Thank you everyone so much for watching, and I will see you all in a future review. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.